Poor woman helps a stranger. Days later, she walks into a mansion. Where are you watching from? Type your city in the comments. You might just get a shout-out in the next video. If you love cats, smash that like button. If you love dogs, drop a comment below. Let's see which team wins. If you love pets in general, like and subscribe right now for some extra good luck today. It all started in the glittering halls of a billionaire's mansion. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and laughter echoing from a private dining room where two of the world's richest men sat facing each other. "Face it," said Victor, a man with silver hair and eyes as cold as steel. "Good people don't exist anymore. Everyone's selfish. Give them a chance, and they'll look the other way." Across from him sat Leonard, his old friend, equally wealthy but softer in his demeanor. He leaned forward with a calm smile. "You're wrong. The world is full of kindness. You just have to look in the right places." Victor scoffed, swirling his wine glass. "Nonsense. Every act of kindness is just someone wanting something in return." Leonard's smile sharpened. "Then prove it. Go out there. Disguise yourself. Walk the streets with nothing in your pocket. Ask for help. If you're right, no one will lift a finger. But if I'm right," he leaned back confident, "you'll have to donate $10 million to charity." Victor froze. A bet. High stakes. His pride was on the line. Slowly, his lips curved into a smirk. "Fine. But when I win, you'll admit in front of everyone that humanity is rotten to the core." The next morning, the mighty Victor disappeared. The man who owned skyscrapers and private jets was nowhere to be found. Instead, a figure in ragged clothes shuffled down the city sidewalks. His hair was messy, his shoes torn. He clutched an empty paper cup in his hand, his sharp eyes hidden beneath the disguise of a weary, broken man. People passed without a glance. Some sneered. Others muttered, "Get a job," as they hurried by. Hours passed, and not a single soul stopped. Victor smirked to himself. "Just as I thought. Leonard is a fool." But then, it happened. A woman walked by, her coat patched, her shoes worn from years of use. She clearly didn't have much herself. But when she saw him sitting on the cold pavement, her steps slowed. She studied him for a long moment, then sighed and knelt down. "You look hungry," she said softly. Victor, playing his role, nodded. "Haven't eaten all day." Without hesitation, she reached into her bag. Inside was a small takeout box, half a sandwich, a few fries. Probably her own lunch. But she pressed it into his hands. "Here. It's not much, but it's something." Victor stared at her, caught off guard. Most people had ignored him. But this woman, who clearly didn't have much, was giving away what little she had. "Why?" he asked. She smiled gently. "Because one day, I might be in your place. And I'd pray someone would help me too." For a moment, Victor forgot he was acting. The sincerity in her eyes pierced through his disguise, leaving him shaken. That evening, Victor returned to his mansion. Leonard was waiting in the study, sipping brandy by the fireplace. "Well?" Leonard asked knowingly. Victor set down the paper cup, still stained with grease from the sandwich. His voice was quieter than usual. "I found her." Leonard's brow rose. "So I was right." Victor hesitated, then finally nodded. "One woman. Not wealthy. Not powerful. Yet she gave me the only meal she had left. No hesitation. No expectation." Leonard's smile grew. "I told you. Good people still exist." Victor leaned back in his chair, troubled. For the first time in years, his hardened beliefs were cracked. He owed Leonard $10 million, but something about this woman's kindness gnawed at him. "I want to see her again," Victor muttered. The very next day, a black car pulled up to a small, run-down apartment complex. A driver stepped out and knocked on the door of the woman's modest home. When she answered, she froze. Men in suits stood before her. "Ma'am," the driver said politely, "our employer requests your presence." Her heart raced. "Employer? Who are you talking about?" They didn't answer, just gestured to the waiting car. Nervous but curious, she followed. The ride felt endless until finally, The car turned down a long, gated driveway. At the end stood a mansion so massive it looked like a palace. When the doors opened, she stepped out, her jaw dropping at the sight of marble fountains, golden gates, and servants rushing about. Inside, in the grand foyer, stood Victor. But not as she'd last seen him. No longer a ragged beggar. Now he wore a tailored suit, his hair combed neatly, his presence commanding. She gasped. "You?" Victor smiled faintly. "Yes, it was me. I'm sorry for deceiving you, but I needed to know." Her hands trembled. "Know what?" "That kindness still exists," Victor said quietly. "That not everyone is selfish. That there are still people in this world who give, even when they have little themselves." She stood frozen, not knowing what to say. Then Victor gestured, and the double doors behind him opened. A grand dining hall stretched out, lit by chandeliers, lined with long tables stacked high with food. "This is all for you," he said. Thank you, for reminding me of something I had forgotten." Tears welled in her eyes. She had given him half a sandwich, and in return, he was giving her a feast. But it didn't stop there. Over the following weeks, Victor quietly arranged for her debts to disappear. Job offers appeared at her door. Her life slowly transformed. He never called it charity, only gratitude. And one evening, as she stood once more at the gates of his mansion, she whispered to herself with disbelief, "All because I chose to share my lunch." Inside, Victor watched her through the window, his lips curling into the faintest smile. For the first time in decades, he believed in people again. And Leonard, when he heard the tale, only laughed. "I told you, my friend. Good people still exist." And that's how one small act of kindness changed everything, proving that sometimes the richest people in the world are the ones with the least to give, but the biggest hearts.